Do. Lollin with Lollith. Do. Lollin with Lollith. Do. Lollin with Lollith. Do. Lollin with Lollith. Ohio. Ohio. I forgot to do the thing. Hold on. Shut up. Shut up. Stopwatch. There we go. Okay. Baca. Ohio. Oh no, I blew my load too early. Welcome to episode 48718 of LWL. That's Lollin with Loloth. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. Kind of a grab bag of topics. It's not too hot in my apartment. Got the fan going. The swamp cooler thing doesn't work at all. Probably going to be moving at the start of September, hopefully to a place with refrigerated air. That'll be nice to have. If you've ever lived somewhere with a swamp cooler before, they work okay, but AC is much better. That's not even legible. You can't even see what that says. God damn it. God damn it. This is an 8. 8, 7, 18. 8, 18. Lollin with Lolith. There we go. Okay. But before I move, I have to get a job and money, which I have neither of. So, one step at a time. Anyway, let's get right into it. Because I got a whole bunch of news stories today for In This World. And hopefully you can't hear my fan too loud. In this world, fear does not exist. In this world. Okay. Ow. The first thing I want to talk about is this article in the New York Times. So, this is an opinion piece, but it's the only headline I could find that's talking about this on the seconds of research that I did. Basically, I guess that July 25th, we're way behind. I don't even remember what the fuck this story's about. Did I write it down? I did this yesterday. Oh yeah. So there's some senators and lobbyists for the oil companies, and the oil companies like Shell and Valero and Exxon Valdez or whatever. They're proposing a tax on carbon emissions, and so businesses like oil companies would be taxed on their carbon emissions, right? Which seems like a good way to make them stop emitting so much carbon, or whatever the fuck it is. And they're even proposing that tax would go back to people as an incentive for reducing your carbon footprint. Trying to get people to switch off of fossil fuels and renewable resources like solar and wind and stuff like that. It seems like a good thing to do, and it's kind of a weird thing for the oil companies who make all their money off of selling those finite resources to people. But part of that deal is if we have that tax, if we have that carbon emissions tax, also the board that regulates that goes away completely, and they're legally immune from any responsibility for having climate change. So basically what that means is you can tax us for emitting a bunch of fucking carbons and shit, but if we destroy the environment or the ecosystem or make the ozone layer go away, it's not our fault. You can't do anything about it. Which makes me wonder, wonder why they are doing that. Why would they be doing that right now? Why would they be proposing this tax where, oh yeah, you can tax us, well, fuck it. We'll just keep emitting shit tons of carbon or whatever, but you can't sue us for fucking up the environment. Why would they be doing that? Why would they be doing that? Well, da 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 da. In this world, let's see. At least 11 more dead as heat wave continues to grip Japan. Why would they be worried? Why would they be worried about carbon emissions? Yeah, so apparently in Japan a bunch of people are fucking dead because of how goddamn hot it is. It's really fucking hot. Mentioning swamp coolers and air conditioners, I'm sweating my balls off right now. It's disgustingly hot. I feel bad for these people in Japan who are just sitting there and literally dying because it's so fucking hot. I mean, how how hot it has to be for you to die from it? That's insane. And maybe they were really old, and maybe they were out hiking on Mount Fuji or something, and they forgot to bring bottles of water, which is ironic. Oh no, it's not. It's Fiji water, not Fuji water. Anyway, my point is, you have the oil companies saying, yeah, you can start taxing us and shit, but you can't sue us. You can't sue us. Meanwhile, people are fucking dying in Japan. My opinion is that we should just stop fucking having cars. Cars ruined everything. It used to be that you could walk places and ride your horse or ride on your bike or whatever. As soon as you had to start having cars, you had to start having shit to fuel your car, and then you started having oil, and then they started having to make roads, and then all the roads had to be built, so they had to tear down all the trees and kill all the squirrels and birdies and everything. And then all these fucking skyscrapers came up. You just get rid of all of it. Get rid of all of it. Like last episode I was saying, let's kill everybody, literally kill every single person in the world. Well, another solution would be stop having oil. Stop having cars in general. Stop having you can keep electricity, I guess, cuz you could put hamsters on wheels and they could go around. But no more cars, no more trucks. Of course, the infrastructure of society would collapse entirely, and lots of people would die if we stopped having cars and trucks and stuff like that. But it wouldn't be so fucking hot anymore, which is all I care about. I mean, I don't know what it is in my apartment. The other day I found out that the back of your refrigerator is supposed to get hot. I opened all of my windows. The swamp cooler doesn't do shit. I got the fan going. One night I got so desperate that I tried to make my own cooler with like a shirt with water on it, and like evaporative air goes through the fan and it blows. It didn't work. I got water all over the floor though, so that was nice. It helped me realize that there's fucking ants all over the floor too, and the ants come out when it gets hot. So that's another thing about summer that I hate. Uh, I just don't understand it. There's a bunch of cats outside in my front yard, and they all sit in front of my door, which is open, and I know they're sitting there because they're dying of heat stroke, and there's apparently cool air leaving my fucking apartment through the door, that it feels like it's hotter in here than it is out there. Maybe all the cool air from my swamp cooler is going outside and making the fucking cats feel comfortable. So I guess there's that. I touched the walls. They're made out of cinder blocks. I touched the walls and they're like ovens. It's like I live in a fucking oven, you know? It's horrible. It reminds me of that Twilight Zone episode where the lady goes insane and the mercury in the thermometer explodes and shit. And then it gets really fucking cold. And that's like, ooh, but now it's really cold. Whoa. You know, maybe that's what's going to happen. It's August right now. We've got September coming up. And then October. And usually by October it starts to get colder. hopefully the fucking winter is at least comfortable. You know, it's not gonna be like cold, but it's gonna be like 65 degrees. That's American degrees. 65 Fahrenheit. At least you can like run your fucking computer or use the oven to cook something without passing out. I mean, I stand up and get a head rush, you know, because my body's like, stop moving, asshole. I had a nightmare the other day that there was like a fan slowly coming over to my bed, and it was radiating heat out. And I woke up and it was just the fucking air in my room was literally, it felt like heat coming out of the air. I don't know what's going on. It might have something to do with the oil companies requesting that they no longer be liable for environmental damage. But global warming isn't a real thing, guys. It's made up. That's a hippie leftist boogeyman. Rip in peace, Japanese people. I'm sorry that you all got killed. Shut up. In other news, pregnant goat dies after being allegedly gang raped by 8 men in Haryana. One of the accused met the owner of the goat the day after he had raped her and said that he had a nice time. First of all, that's news in India, or wherever the fuck Haryana is. I'm assuming it's in India. Oh yeah, it says India right there. Must have been a pretty sexy goat. Here's the story. This guy owns a bunch of goats. He catches 3 people raping his goat who's pregnant with a baby goat. The goat dies of being raped by 3 people. They take it to the veterinarian, I guess, to try to get DNA swabs to see who raped it. And they find that 5 other people fucking raped it. That's a hell of a nice looking goat. What is wrong with people in India that they're all raping goats? And if this guy owned goats, that means he's got a bunch of goats. Why did they all select that one particular one? You know what I mean? That's all I had to say about that. There was one time that I was truck driving, and it was in Austin, so I worked at this plumbing company that served the Austin area and surrounding. And if you go outside of Austin and then outside of the suburbs of Austin, there's a lot of open nothing and cowboys and good old boy and back country and stuff like that. This is a hill country, right? And you'll find a lot of people that kind of live out in the middle of nowhere by themselves, but they still need plumbing supplies. So every now and again, I would get a delivery where I would have to go out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And in this particular instance, I had like handwritten instructions. Drive 20 miles north, and then, at the fork, go right, and then look for the red barn and take a left, and you'll see a cow in the field, and, then you've gone too far if you hit the old tree that's split in half and turn, dirt roads and shit like that. Circle around the windmill. It's like not even exaggerating. This is the instructions I'm following, where the roads like stop having names and stuff. They're just called like numbers, County Road 402 or whatever. And anyway, I get out there and I deliver all the plumbing supplies. But as I'm going, I notice there's this field of horses, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I got time and a half to waste. And I'm thinking, I haven't jacked off in a while. And I'll admit that a few times, you're sitting in that truck all by yourself driving, the engine rumbling and sitting for long periods of time, the blood tends to pool in the legs. I beat off a few times. Sometimes driving, that's a challenge. Driving a truck and masturbating at the same time. But anyway, there's all these horses, and I'm thinking, jack off to some horse dicks and horse buttholes. And but now first I got to do my job, so I go and deliver the plumbing supplies. Then on the way back, you know, there's some sexy looking horses in that field, and I pass by them, and there's nobody out there, so I pull over, and I'm in this big ass truck, so I'm blocking half of the road, and you know, looking at the horses, getting a little semi, and I'm starting to think about reaching down and pulling Ryan Gosling out of his sheath, and then the fucking vaquero Mexican guys in their pickup truck show up and direct eye contact, and they knew exactly what I was fucking doing. I'm blocking the road so they can't even get by, and they pull in, and they're gonna go now fucking feed or do something with the horses. Maybe they're gonna rape them like that goat. I don't know. I got the fuck out of there. What the fuck? This guy's talking about fucking raping horses and shit? No, I was just gonna jack off to him. I wasn't gonna rape him. I'm not an Indian. Shut up! Alright. NFL's first male. Can you see that? God damn it! God damn it! God damn it! What the fuck? How come every time you go to a news website it says, I see you're using an ad blocker? Oh, do you approve the use of cookies? Here's a fucking video of some shit. I just want to read. God damn it, I miss newspapers. Alright, NFL's first male dancers will hit the sidelines this season. So they're going to have male cheerleaders in the NFL. I think that's great. A lot of people are saying, no, stop, that's so gay. It's not gay. There's fucking, well, they're obviously gay, but it's not that gay. Anyway, there's openly gay NFL players. There's shit tons of closeted gay NFL players. I don't know, man. If your fucking appeal is to slam into a bunch of big, muscly, sweaty dudes all day, a lot of them fucking beat their wives and shit too, apparently, and get mad about the national anthem. So they're all fags to begin with. Might as well embrace it. Anyway, I'm happy that they're going to have male dancers. That's been a female-dominated occupation for far too long, and I'm sick of it, to be honest. I'm sick of it. Apparently they've had stuntmen and shit. Mascots are usually male. Well, I guess that's either or. There's a lot of male mascots. But now they're going to have dudes dancing and shit with the cheerleaders, or with the female cheerleaders, doing the same moves. That's like a normal thing. When I was going to pep rallies, there was always male cheerleaders. And I remember this one guy, I think his name was Blake, he got more pussy than fucking any of the football players. Because all he did was hang out with all the fucking cheerleaders. And he was in good ass shape too, because he was like able to pick them up and shit. And do backflips and everything. That guy got laid all the fucking time. I mean, yeah, he was probably gay, but he got fucking laid constantly. First male dancer's about time. It's about time, as they say. That's about it. So, the world's gonna end if we don't stop using oil. The world's gonna end because we're fucking raping goats. I mean, apparently there's more men in India than women, like by a lot. Like something in their culture it makes it so that women are like considered bad to have, and like people bury their daughters alive. That's an obvious stereotype, and I have no evidence to back that up whatsoever. It's your own goddamn fault. Start having chicks. Indian girls are fucking hot, you know. Every one Indian girl, there's like 20 dudes that want to bang her. They're not all fucking gonna be fucking like 20 dudes at the same time. They have to start fucking goats. We should just have sex robots. Japan is so far ahead of us. They're all dying of heat stroke over there. But they're making robots that you can fuck. That would get rid of cars, all right? Sew up goat vaginas, I guess. Give Indian people fuck robots, and give Japanese people popsicles and ice cream cones. And that's literally all the problems in the world. We've already got dudes dancing for the NFL, so that's fine. Guys can cut their dicks off and piss in the ladies' restroom. I mean, I think I just solved every problem that there is, except for all the other ones that are like a lot worse. Just kill everybody, I guess. If you killed every single person, I know it's crazy. It's a crazy idea, but if you killed every single person in the entire world, there would be no more uh, anything. There wouldn't be. No one would have any problems. They'd all be dead. It's the best possible outcome, the final solution, if you will. Okay, let's move on to stuff that is epic. Close enough. Go away. This is the most important story. I'm including this in stuff that is epic and not in this world because this is like nerd culture, not world news. But Patrick Stewart to return as Captain Picard, new Star Trek series. Fuck yeah! That's all I have to say about that. Apparently he came out and started like crying. He was so emotional about it. And yeah, the last movie they made was a long time ago, and Star Trek's kind of been shitty ever since then. But I guess now with this CBS streaming service, they're going to have a new Star Trek series that's just about Captain Picard, what he's been up to. That's awesome, in my opinion. Next Generation was always the best one. Deep Space Nine is pretty good too. And they had like Worf and stuff come back for Deep Space Nine, but you only ever saw Jean-Luc Picard in the movies. So it'll be awesome to see Patrick Stewart come back, and hopefully he can still pull it off. See again, fuck off with this shit. I know you don't have any money. I know that it's impossible to fucking maintain any kind of journalistic integrity or turn a profit in this internet society, but fuck off. I just want to look at this fucking thing for free, okay? Show me some tits and I'll give you some money if I had any. Patrick Stewart coming back, Jean-Luc Picard, awesome. Literally awesome. I'm not going to watch it, though. Star Trek is gay. They should make a Deep Space Nine movie, in my opinion. Get Cisco back, and Odo, and that Bajoran lady, and I wonder if Michael Dorn is still around. Speaking of which, they're going to have Lando Calrissian in Episode 9, Star Wars Episode 9. They already said that. See, they fucked up because they should have had him in Episode 8. They should have had him as the guy in the casino who double crosses Finn and Rose. That should have been Lando, not Benicio del Toro, whoever the hell guy he was. If that had been Lando, that would have been awesome. And then it would have kind of been sort of like the end of Empire Strikes Back when he fucks Han over, puts him in the carbonite. But he's coming back in Episode 9. 3 other things and stuff that is epic. One, the game Chasm. Everybody's playing La Mulana 2, which is fine. Everybody's talking about Death's Gambit and Dead Cells, which are these 2D pixel. I guess Death's Gambit's more an established map with kind of like Souls-like play, and Dead Cells is like a rogue legacy kind of a game where you permadeath, but you can. Or it's not permanent. You die and that character's done, but you start at level 0, but like you can change how you start up and like upgrade your starting area and stuff like that. But then all the enemies and bosses respawn throughout the whole map. I mean, it's out cool. Everybody's streaming all those games. You can watch people stream Dead Cells. I'm sure Death's Gambit's going to be really popular. Everybody I know is streaming La Mulana 2. I haven't seen anybody playing fucking Chasm. I'm going to stream Chasm after this episode. If anybody wants to watch, of course, if you're watching this later, you missed out on it, but I'll put the video of myself doing that on YouTube as well as Twitch. I'm going to start doing that, having both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. But yeah, the next time I stream, I'm going to show off that game Chasm, because it's basically if you had Symphony of the Night, um, with like an unlockable, upgradable hub, because you go and you find people and you rescue them and they go back to the hub world, and then you can like find items for them that upgrade their abilities. Uh, but it's randomly generated per game, so it's like if you die in Rogue Legacy, if you die, the map completely regenerates. But in Chasm, you have one map and it's generated from a seed, like a code you give it, and so you have one set map, and you can die and continue in that map, and it's like Symphony of the Night's Castle with different areas. Like there's a mines, and there's like a castle, and there's like a garden, jungle type area. And apparently, it always is going to have those different environments, and it's always going to have the different upgrades, like the wall cling and the slide and the different weapons. But it changes how they're positioned and how you go about unlocking them and where the villagers that upgrade your hub are. And so it seems like if you enjoy the basic progression through the game, which I'm enjoying quite a bit, you just get another instance of that. Like, imagine if you had Symphony of the Night, but instead of having that same map, or imagine if you had Super Metroid, but instead of having the same layout, each time you played the game, you go and you kill Mother Brain and you beat it, and then you start over from the beginning, but the layout's completely different. You know what points you have to hit. I have to go get the phase beam and the ice beam and the dash boots and shit like that. I gotta go kill Ridley or whatever, but they're in different places than they were last time. It's a cool idea for a game, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'll stream it later today, so check out the VOD if you like, or catch it live. The other thing I wanted to talk about was that tomorrow, 8/8, there's going to be a Smash Ultimate Direct, and people are saying very likely that they're going to confirm Ashley from WarioWare. Now that would be cool. That would be cool and all, but personally, I want Rayman. Give me Rayman, or just as DLC. And the last thing I want to talk about and stuff that is epic is that in World of Warcraft, which is a very old game, which I haven't played in a long time, I got back into it recently and got a character up to like level 25 or something, and then my subscription died and I didn't want to pay for it anymore. But I guess in the new expansion, they're getting rid of the Undercity, which is the big city for the undead, and the Horde could go there and everything. But when I started playing World of Warcraft, the first character I ever played as was an undead character, one of the Forsaken, right? And after you go through your initial starting area, your home world really is the Undercity. And I have a ton of nostalgic old World of Warcraft memories of playing in the Undercity, and it's going away. It's going away. So I felt kind of sad about that. Rip and piss, Undercity. You were epic. Well, that's it for that one. Man, it's only been half an hour. These episodes are getting hard to pad out to an hour long. We're already looking at Loloth. Ooh, now it's too dark. Now it's dark. I have 2 different stories today, though. This is the best part of the show, in my opinion. The first one is a story that happened to me when I was a little kid. And it's weird that I'm talking about this nowadays, because my brother recently started, or not recently, but I recently noticed that he's streaming Final Fantasy 14. And I won't link it or anything, because I figured he probably doesn't want anybody watching it. I think he just live streams to have a video of it for later. But made me think of also somebody, a friend of mine named Mion, who's somebody on the Terra. Well, she doesn't like Terra very much. Somebody I met through Terra. Who gets very mad at me when I talk about my truck driving experiences. But she reminded me of a story I told one time when I was on Twitch about something that happened to me when I was a kid. So I want to tell that story today. And it involved this girl named Casey. And the thing about Casey was that, like I was talking about on the last episode, those really weird kids who are even less accepted than like the nerds, and like I was the fat kid. That was my thing in elementary school. I was the fat guy, but I still had friends. I was popular. Um, Casey was one of those girls who like everybody kind of thought she was a little off. She had a lot of pets. Um, I remember she had she would like get a new dog, and she would be really happy, and she would come and show you her dog, and she lived like 3 or 4 houses down from us. So she would always come over and be like, look at my new dog," or like, "I got a hamster," or like, "Look at this cat that I had." And then a week later it would die. Like a fucking, and this was a constant thing. So it got to the point where she would come over with her dog, and you just feel bad for the dog. Like, you know, oh, what a nice dog. I'm sorry that you have to die because you're going to. You're going to be dead. Look in her fucking backyard and at all those mounds of dirt with sticks stuck in them. That's going to be you in like 6 days, max. And I don't know why all of her pets died. I guess because they were just fucking horribly neglectful to them. But then they kept getting her new ones, you know. I would go over there because she had a Super Nintendo. I had a We had a Nintendo Entertainment System first of all, and then when we upgraded from that, we got the Sega Genesis. So we had Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that, and we couldn't play any of the Super Nintendo games. I didn't know what Super Mario World was. I never played it. The Final Fantasy games, never messed with them. We would go over to her house because she had Super Mario World. She had the Space Ace, which was garbage on Super Nintendo. She had Uniracers, which was a fun game, and she had Street Fighter 2. So that was the first time I ever played Street Fighter 2 outside of the arcade. And at my arcade, you couldn't actually play it because the older kids would just beat the shit out of you if you tried. So that was the first time I really got to learn kind of how to play Street Fighter 2 or any fighting game ever. It was over at Casey's house. But Casey was really, we were pretty close friends with her because we lived close to her, and I had gone to kindergarten with her. My brother was 2 years older than I was, so they weren't in the same grade. Me and Casey were in the same grade, and that continued from like kindergarten up to like fourth grade. And we lived close, so we were childhood friends. Now we lived in a town called Ridgecrest, California, which was like 2-3 hours drive from Los Angeles, and it's kind of a crummy little town. I remember when like it got a Walmart, that kind of, like the Walmart opened, it was like, oh wow, Walmart. The movie theater had like 3 or 4 theaters, and there was only the one. You know, it had a independent video store, and then that became a Blockbuster, and that was a sad day because it was Circus Video before that, and Circus Video was cool because they had like a carousel you could ride in the middle of it. And then I think that turned into a Hollywood Video before we moved. And I think the Blockbuster moved to like the newer developed area, and they're like gonna build a sports complex and shit and a mall. But the point is that it was expanding, it was getting bigger. It was a pretty small town, and it was developing. And the house that we grew up in, me and my brother And Casey, a few houses down, was on this road that, you know, if you have the don't do that. If you have the grid of houses and streets and stuff, and then they're building them out, and you know, maybe here's a road over here, and then they kind of get sparser and sparser, and here's like the street that wraps around the entire city, and then this is all just desert. And you could walk pretty far out into the desert, and eventually you'd come up to the Sierra Nevada mountains. You could see those on the horizon. But our house was like here, and Casey's down here, so we would meet and just walk out into this desert area. And like this is a big vacant lot, and maybe there's like one house here, and then this is all undeveloped up here. And then this is the city over here, the town. But then here's the street. Out here is just nothing. There's just desert. There's just emptiness. So it was a great place for kids unsupervised to go out and play and do stuff like that. I was like maybe 8 or 9, and so my brother's like 10 or 11. Casey's 8 or 9, same age as I am. And we would go out into this field all the time, and in this desert, and play. And there would be big mounds of dirt, and you could ride your bike and stuff. We would have squirt gun fights, you know. And occasionally you would see like a rabbit or something. Very rarely you'd encounter like a tarantula or a scorpion. And kids would tell stories about seeing rattlesnakes and shit, but I never saw any. It was pretty safe, to be honest. But sometimes you would find weird stuff out there. You know, people would go out there and leave stuff, older kids, you know, so you'd find beer bottles and stuff, and like porn mags and stuff like that. And you could find some cool stuff out there. Yeah, but it was just a big, open, vast expanse of nothingness, and your imagination could run wild. And it was easy to find your way back because you could always just like see there's the mountains over here, the town is over here, just keep going this way, and eventually you'll hit the road. And if you hit the road, you know where you are. And their parents didn't care. That, you know, they're like, oh, fuck it, you know, they'll be fine. And it's not like we ever got hurt or anything. One time in particular, they got mad at us because one of the houses right on the edge of development had an electrified fence along its like it had brick stonework walls surrounding the house, and there were like an electrified wire on the top of it. And Casey, her older brother, showed us that you could take like a metal rod, like a curtain rod, and like another curtain rod, and hit the two wires and electrocute yourself. And so we would just fucking sit there and do that. And it's like wow, oh shit, I got electrocuted, awesome, you know. And the people in the house never came out and stopped us. It was fucked up, but we would go and tell our parents, hey, guess what we did today? Yeah, we found an electric fence, and like Ren and Stimpy was on, and there was that Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence game. That was not okay to show to kids, because I thought it was like funny to electrocute yourself back in those days. I was like, oh, an electric fence, awesome. I can be like Ren and Stimpy, and I can fucking die and kill myself on this fucking, you know, 10,000 volt current flowing through my heart. What a great idea. But on one particular occasion, Casey called me and my brother up and said, out in the desert, there is something fantastic. There is I was out there with my older sister, and we found an entrance to a cave, an entrance to an underground, like a series of tunnels and caves that have been dug out there, and we marked the entrance, and it's way the fuck out in the desert. But you know, it was like Saturday morning, and I wanted to watch Eek the Cat and Power Rangers and stuff like that. And she was like, no, you have to come out here with me. You and Bryce, that's my brother. Come out. I'm gonna show you this cave. All right. That sounds badass, right? So we go, and we don't bring anything with us, and it's not as hot as it is nowadays, I guess, because we could go out there for hours without water bottles or anything. And this is the desert. This is the what is it? The Mojave Desert. So it's hot as fuck. And I'm 8 and my brother's 10, and we go out there without sunscreen, without hats, like in our fucking sandals and shit. And it was fine. We were used to it. But we go out of the desert, and Casey's leading us, and we just are just walking and walking, and she keeps telling us, I put like a big rock on the thing. There's like a board, there's like some plywood, and I put a big rock on it, and that's the entrance to the cave, and we just gotta find it. And I'm pretty sure you just walk in a straight line and we'll find it. And we just kept fucking going. And we just kept fucking walking, and probably like 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes goes by. And eventually we're like, okay, really, how far is this goddamn thing? And she's like, no, it's somewhere out here. We just got to keep going. We just got to keep going. I promise you're going to love this. Okay, let's keep going. You're fine. And one thing I forgot to mention about Casey, God, I should have mentioned this earlier. Casey had this strange ability. Not only was she amazingly good at killing her pets within a week of getting them, not only did she have a Super Nintendo, which was cool, but consistently she could have a deck of cards in her hand and like, she could shuffle a deck of cards and just hand it to you and say, draw a card. And you could, any fucking card, bam. And, you could just peek at it. Nothing behind you, no reflection, anything. They weren't marked cards. You could be in another fucking room and just look, and she would just sit there. 9 of diamonds, and she's right. And like, you'd be like, how the fuck do you do that? And she would just say, you have to concentrate. Like, she did it a bunch of times, and I was always like, Casey, how the fuck do you do that? And she was just like, it's easy, just concentrate. So I don't know what the hell that was all about. But anyway, Casey was a weird girl. And now we're out there in the middle of the desert, walking and walking and walking, and it's been an hour. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. And we're about to the point where we're really far, and you can't see the like road anymore because this is flat desert. You can see the mountains, but the mountains are like getting big now, like bigger than normal, and you can't see in the other direction. You can't see where the road is. It's on the edge of the city. Like, you can't see this road. You can only see these mountains over here, which are getting, and you couldn't possibly ever walk to the fucking mountains. It's way too far. But my point is that they're so close to them now that they're getting bigger. Excuse me. And we're like, look, Casey, enough is enough. Where's this fucking cave? And she's like, it's somewhere out here. I put a rock on it. There's a board. Just, we gotta stay out here. Just stay out here with me. This is fun. Aren't we having fun? Casey, we don't even think that there is a cave anymore at this point, and we don't really believe her anymore. We're starting to kind of think that she's just messing with us, or she just wants to hang out with us, or she's doesn't want to go home because whatever the fuck is killing all of her pets is turned its attention to her, maybe, or maybe she's had some kind of psychic fucking premonition of some horrible event that's going to happen, and she used to be able to predict playing cards, and now she thinks that the fucking septic tank's going to explode or something. For whatever reason, she wants to be out there with us, and it's not like she wants to fuck us or anything, because we're 8 years old. Maybe she had some kind of childhood crush or whatever. But enough is enough at this point. It's been an hour and a half. We want to go home and play Sonic the Hedgehog and watch cartoons. So we're like, all right, Casey, we're going to go. Like, it's been fun, but we need to head back. And she's like, all right, this is where the cave is. We are there. And we're like, seriously? What? Wait, this? Wait, when did we get here? No, this is the cave. But it's a secret. It's a secret cave, and only me and my sister know about it, so I don't want to show you exactly where it is. I have to uncover and I have to move some sand and like it's buried. I have to dig it up. So both of you turn around and close your eyes, and when I tell you, turn back around. All right, whatever. This is the last bit of patience we have. We'll give you this one thing of good faith, but after this, we're done, right? So me and my brother turn around and we close our eyes and we're waiting for Casey to tell us to turn around, and we're standing there and we're waiting and nothing's happening, and she's not doing anything as far as we know. We don't hear her digging or anything like that. And we're just still kind of pretty impatient and wondering what the fuck is going on, because we've been out there for like an hour and a half and we're way out in the middle of nowhere at this point. And then Casey says, "Okay, guys, turn around." And we turn around. We turn around, and her pants are off. She's squatting down in the sand, and she's just taking a huge, huge shit. Like, my childhood memory might be distorted from time and experience since then, but this was a very long, curling shit, and she was facing us too, so she was like, hey, and just taking this massive shit, and she didn't like say anything, or like, just kidding, fuckers, haha, I'm taking a shit, there's no cave. She just kind of was staring at us, taking a shit, like, here it is. And we didn't really know how to react to that. So I think what happened was me and my brother just kind of laughed it off and, oh, gross, and then she finished, and nothing to wipe with out there. So she just pulled her pants back up, and then we headed back. And it took us, an hour or whatever to walk back. And I'm sure it must have been very uncomfortable for her in the heat and the sweat and everything, and caked on feces on her asshole. But there wasn't a cave. She just wanted to take us out there, and I think what it was that she had no idea how to salvage the situation. She thought maybe there would be a cave, or she would find something, or maybe one of us would try to kiss her or something like that. I don't know what her mentality was or what her thoughts were, but her solution to the problem was to just take a shit for us. So, Casey, if you're out there, I miss you so much. Nah. Why did you kill every single pet you ever had? That's what I really felt bad about. She had a really nice looking husky dog one time, and it was gone within days. But that's the story of Casey. I don't remember what her last name was. And the last story that I want to tell you all, because like I said, there's going to be 2 stories today. Looking with Loloth. God, what a horrible episode. I should really plan these out better. The last story I want to tell is another truck driving story. And we mentioned that Casey had psychic powers. Well, I don't, but I have had, on occasion, times when the phone rings and you know who's on the other end before you pick it up. That doesn't happen as much anymore with caller ID, and you just look at your phone and you can see who's calling you. But sometimes, even now, before you look at your phone and see who's calling you, you know who's calling you. And that might just be learned kind of time of day, or you're expecting a call. But sometimes it's somebody you haven't heard from in a long time, and they call you and go, oh, I bet that's, or you get an email from somebody and you say, oh, a new email message, and you go, I bet that's from whoever, and they have never emailed you before, and you just know who it is. I think everybody gets that occasionally. A lot of the time people get that thing where you're having an experience and you think, I had a dream like this before. You know what I mean? Like, you go to a restaurant you've never been to, or you meet somebody you've never been. More often for me, it's like when I'm really tired, and I think it's more something to do with my brain not processing things fast enough, so it feels like I've remembered it before. But sometimes it really, really feels like I've had a dream about this experience in the past. I remember one time I was taking a shower and it was so intense, like, and it was at my dad's new house that he had just moved into. So I'd never taken a shower at this particular shower before, and I knew everything about it. The shower curtain, the way the air smelled, like the way the soap smelled, the water, like the steam, the mirror. I had seen all of it in the dream. And even though there's no way that could have, I never could have been in that situation before. So I think it was just that my brain was fucked up and like I was processing it too slow, so it didn't feel like a new event. It felt like a past event. But in the moment, it really strongly feels like a memory of a dream or something that you've experienced before. And they call it deja vu, but this is different. This is like when you've had a dream about something and then it comes true. And it can feel like you have the precognitive ability to, you know, live the future before it happens. And because it feels so strongly like that, you can convince yourself that you have that ability. Um, and I think that happens to a lot of people. I've heard other people describe that same sensation before. So maybe it's just the way your brain processes information, and it feels like that, and you're playing a trick on yourself. Or maybe there is some kind of time distortion going on, and fourth dimensionally we are receiving some input from some form of higher existence of our own selves. That's probably bullshit. But anyway, this particular instance, there's really nothing that I can explain it away with other than either pure fucking survival instinct or some kind of saving grace, you know, desperation, psychic power kicking in at the, you know, necessary moment, or an even weirder explanation, which I'll describe at the end of the story. But this is when I was truck driving and driving an 18-wheeler through Louisiana and just leaving New Orleans. And so I'm driving, here's the road, and it's a 2-lane road, and this is just fucking swamp. And it goes down into the swamp, so the road is horribly built on, like, there's a little patch of grass, and then this is just swamp and death and mosquitoes, and you're fucked. And this is like a steep slope down. And then this is a big patch of grass, and the other road is way the fuck over to the left. It's like 3 in the morning, and it's pissing down rain, and it's dark as shit, and I'm driving over here in the right lane, and it's dark, and it's raining, and you can't see anything, and, you know, the road is wet, and I'm driving a big fucking 18-wheeler, and off to the right is instant death if you fall in the swamp. Off to the left is you probably survive. There's grass and shit like that. Flipping a truck over, though, is not a good thing to happen. Lots of broken glass. You think those things are strong because they're big, but they're not really. They're able to pull shit, but they're not built to take impact. Lots and lots and lots and lots of fuel. underneath you, which can easily explode or ignite and catch on fire. So flipping one of those things is not a good thing to happen, and most of the time people die when it happens. Also, I got the guy in the back. He's asleep, and if he's asleep and his fucking shit flips over, at least he's gonna break his back. At least his spine is gonna crack in half. Even if he survives, he's fucking paralyzed for life. And I'm probably dead because the windshield is just gonna come into my face. So flipping the truck is not a good thing to do. And again, you think that they're big, so they're built to fucking plow through shit, but they're not. They're built to pull heavy weight. They're not built to go over things. The clearance of them is very low, and you have 18 wheels, so it's easy for some of those wheels to have grip on the road and some of them to lose grip on the road. And if that happens, you fucking spin like a top, and the momentum carries you over, and you're dead. So they're not safe to drive, and it's pissing down rain, and it's really dark. So I'm going slow. I think I was going like 45. But still, if you're going 45 and you hit something, you're fucking done, especially if it's wet surface and there's nowhere for me to go to the right. If I go to the right, I'm in the swamp. If I go to the left, maybe the truck survives, but I fucking don't. So it's dark as shit, and it's pissing down rain. I'm going 45 degrees. I can't see anything except what's directly in front of me in the light of the headlights. Now, when you're driving an 18-wheeler, you're supposed, or any kind of big vehicle like that, you're supposed to stay in the right lane. And normally that's my practice. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to stay in the right lane and let people pass on the left. It's a lot easier to see them coming on the left than on the right. And because you got like 52 feet behind you of this big long-ass truck, it's a lot easier to see them coming so you don't accidentally get over and kill them. For whatever reason, I get this. I mean, I can only describe it as dread, like a feeling of dread, like terror almost. I need to be in the left lane. I need to get over now. And it's never happened to me before or since, where I just know that if I don't do this thing, I'm gonna die. And that's what it feels like. And it comes out of nowhere. It's not like a gradual build up. It's not like I was nervous about anything. And it's not like I had anything bad going on. I mean, it was a normal night. I was used to driving at night in shitty conditions like that. So it wasn't like I was scared or nervous or anything like that. And I was just kind of zoning out, driving, paying attention to the road, trying not to, steer the truck off the fucking road. It was raining. It was dark, so I was focused on what I was doing. But still, you kind of zone out and just get into the flow of doing something like that, a monotonous task like that. And I was kind of thinking about other stuff. And then all of a sudden, oh fuck, I need to get over now. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how it happens, but I trust it. I can't deny it. And so I start to move over, and you can kind of gradually move this big ass giant long truck over. But when this thing hits, it's immediate. It's just like, go now, get over, shift over, get in the left lane, right fucking now. And so, okay, and I do it safely and I get over. I don't like jerk over. Gradually move over into the left lane. And I mean, like a second after I'm over in the left lane, like maybe a second passes. I get over in the left lane, and I'm over here now. Fucking shift over in the left lane, and then here's the right lane. And like I said, I can't see more than a few feet in front of me. As soon as I get over, this big motherfucking crocodile is just here, just chilling out. Hey there, arg, you know. It's just stretched across the entire right lane of the road, just in the road. This is like, again, I said this is in Louisiana. We're just coming out of New Orleans swampland, down home in the bayou, pissing rain at 3 in the morning. If I hit that fucking crocodile, I'm done. There's no way. I mean, crocodiles are big as shit. If this truck hits this thing, first of all, crocodile's fucking dead. Truck's gonna bounce, jump. I'm gonna lose control of it. At least lose control of the fucking tractor and veer off. At this point, the trailer is gonna spin one way or the other. I'm either gonna flip into the grass off the road, or I'm gonna go into the swamp and die in the swamp. You know, maybe I fucking survive it. Maybe the guy sleeping in the back doesn't break his neck. You know, maybe he lives. But both of us are fucked. The truck is done. It's off the road and it's on its side or upside down. And the only thing that saves us from the fire is the pissing rain. You know what I mean? Neither one of us can see because of all the shards of glass that have embedded themselves into our eyeballs. I was gonna hit that crocodile. There's no fucking way in hell because I can see seconds ahead of me. So if I'm going a nice thing in the right lane and I see the crocodile, my reaction is either fuck it and I hit it, or slam on my brakes, bam, the trailer is jackknifed up here and that flips me, or I react like an idiot and I go, oh shit, and steer into the swamp and die, or I go, oh shit, and steer and flip the truck to the left and die. So if I hit that crocodile, or if I see that crocodile and react to it, done. The only possible way I survive this encounter with this motherfucker is if I don't hit it. And the only reason I didn't hit it is because I had, at the moment before, I mean the last possible moment for me to avoid this thing, I get this overpowering sensation of terror, of absolute mortal survival necessity. Get the fuck out of the right lane and go in the left lane. And I trusted it, and that's why I'm, here talking to you. And so I passed by this crocodile, and it's just fucking a crocodile. It doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Just sitting there. I passed by the crocodile, and I'm just like, oh shit. And then this is processing in my head, like, I would have died. Like, there was no way. What the fuck just happened? Like, that feeling I had, what was that? Was that psychic power? Was that just some kind of instinct that kicked in? What the fuck was that? And while I'm trying to figure that out, and I'm still just in the left lane, I'm like, fuck the right lane. As this is going through my head, as this is processing in my head, I see over sitting, here's the swamp, and here's this little slope of grass into the water in the swamp. Sitting there, let me draw it again. And remember, this is 3 in the morning, Louisiana, pissing rain, like downpour of rain. Here's the swamp. Just sitting in the grass is this fucking guy. He's just hanging out. Okay, and his legs are crossed, and the guy is just sitting there like, you see Buddha meditating in the lotus position or whatever, with your legs crossed and your hands on your knees, and you're meditating like that. That's the way he's sitting, facing the road, in the rain, in the dark at 3 in the morning, perfectly still. And it was a human being, at least that's what it initially appears to be, in that shape, in that form, head, body, arms, legs, the general same size as a person would be. But the thing about this particular whatever the fuck it was that, first of all, it was completely naked. There were no clothes. wasn't wearing any clothes or anything like that, and it didn't have any facial features, so no eyes or nose or mouth. It was just blank. And the reason I was able to notice those details that quickly as I passed by it in the rain, in the dark, was because it was bright pink. That's a fucking 100% true story. It was bubblegum pink, bright neon pink, naked shape of a person, no face, sitting there in the grass, pissing rain down on it, 3 in the morning, dark as fuck, and this thing is just sitting there. Clearly, I see it and I notice it, and it's looking, at the road. Maybe it's looking at me, I don't know, because it doesn't have eyes. But its face is facing in that direction. And this is just a mere moment after I have this sudden, terrible impetus, terrible desire to get over into the left lane, narrowly avoiding certain getting majorly fucked up, if not getting killed. Narrowly avoiding this crocodile with no reason to suspect that there's going to be a crocodile on the road. I get this bam, get the fuck over right now. I get over. I couldn't possibly have doubted myself. It was so strong. This feeling was so strong. And never before and never since then have I had a reaction like that. Get over now. I get over. Right then, crocodile that would have probably killed me, killed the guy behind me. At least, there's no way the truck's not going to get fucking flipped over. And as I'm passing by this crocodile and processing that and wondering what the fuck happened, here's pink bubblegum man naked meditating in the grass in the rain at 3 in the morning. Not exaggerated at all, completely 100% true. That fucking happened. I don't know what it was. I don't know how to explain it. But that's the kind of shit that goes down when you're out in the middle of nowhere driving a truck at 3 in the morning. Anyway, that's it for Lollin with Loloth for 8/17/18. Tomorrow we're going to have Smash Brothers update news, so hopefully we get Rayman or get to see Ashley in action. That'll be cool. How do you spell words? Thanks for watching, lol. Stay tuned to this YouTube channel or my Twitch, which has a link in the description below, if you want to watch me play that game Chasm I was talking about earlier. Very cool game. Or not, whatever. Also, please consider subscribing and giving me money for no reason. Because, god damn it, I need money badly. But if not, tune in tomorrow. Anyway, for more Lollin with Loloth, and until next time, bye-bye. There we go. Do. Lollin with Loloth. Do. Lollin with Loloth. Do. Lollin with Loloth. Do. Lollin with Loloth. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.